Welcome back to A Celtic State of Mind. My name is Paul John Dykes. I'm joined by Kevin McCluskey, and I don't think in my Celtic supporting life I have ever been sitting at half-time, Kev, 6-0 up. I'm thinking about some of the big scoring, the high-scoring games I've been witness to, where we've scored 9 goals against Arbroath, Aberdeen, Dundee United. They weren't 6-0 up at half-time, I don't think. That was unbelievable in the first half. That was vintage, free-flowing football. Just what the commenters were asking for before the game. By far and away the best free-flowing performance I've seen under Brendan Rodgers since he came back. What a statement of intent that is, isn't it?
Absolutely incredible stuff. Whoever it was that asked for the rip-roaring, free-scoring, never-boring Glasgow Celtic copyright of Tony Haggerty before the game, he's absolutely nailed it. That is
scintillating
same
stuff.
thought process as you scintillating, exactly. Same thought process as yourself watching that, going like, I've seen us scalp a few teams in the past. Never have I seen us go 6-0 up at half time. I don't think. I was at Easter Road when we played Whitehill Welfare and we only struggled to a 3-0 victory. You know, that's the game we should have been 6-0 up at half time in. This has come from nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. If you look at how we've played in the last month or so, and today it's been full of pace and purpose and it's been fast. Everything's been a forward pass. And it just shows you when we do that, we can be absolutely frightening. This is incredible stuff. 6-0 at half time, mate. You can't believe it.
I know. And, I want to bring in the comments. That's what I want to do because, we could go through the 6 goals. I don't think we've got enough time. We've only got 13 minutes left before the second half kicks off. We could go through each of the 6 goals, 6 goal scorers. Cameron Carter-Vickers, Adam Ida, Matt O'Reilly, Dyson Maeda, Greg Taylor, Callum McGregor. Unbelievable. Some brilliant, brilliant goals in amongst that lot. Maeda had a really tough time last time round against Beck. Yang is tearing him to pieces. In the lead up to the 6th goal, where there was the very quick VAR check for the penalty on Yang. Yang ran 3 times individually at that Dundee defence and skinned him. Then he was kind of bundled down. The throw-in goes back to Yang. It's him that finds McGregor. He has the wee pass backwards and forth with Taylor. Honestly, there's a synergy tonight that we've been missing, Kev. And I'll tell you something. See that roar at half-time? If you're talking about the kind of influence of the Celtic crowd and, how negativity can seep onto the pitch, that roar is the exact opposite of that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've spoken about this after certain games this season where you can tell there's been a nervousness and an anxiousness with the crowd and they've not really been up for it and it seeps through to the players. Every now and again you need the players to raise the fans as much as you need the fans to raise the players, and that performance today has done that. I mean, those guys are going to walk off at half-time heads held high because they're 6-0 up anyway. But with that roar at your back, that's when you realise, and it's not a full 60,000 that's in there tonight. It must be maybe about 50,000 by the look of it. And if there was a roof on Celtic Park, it'd have been blown off by that. It's a phenomenal roar.
Are we talking, remember that we did blow the radio waves off, remember? 5-0, Cadet.
Yeah, Judge Cadet, yes.
Are we talking those levels of racket? It's up there.
Oh, we must be Radio 5 Live still coming back online just now after that. It was something else. But, imagine that though. Like I said, you've gone off, you're chuffed to bits with your performance anyway. Then you get that roar. I'd like to think there's no way those players are coming back in the second half to take it easy because they know what's out there waiting for them. We talk at certain games that this could be a double figures game. This really could be a double figures game if we go for it in the second half with that same intensity and maybe even introduce the likes of Kyogo off the bench. I mean, he'd love to get on there tonight and get himself in amongst the goals.
Not just him, Palmer. I think there's a couple of people on that bench.
What a chance for him to get a decent run out.
Well, I think there's a few players that have got a wee point to prove here, Kev. Obviously, we spoke before the game about the fact that those with the starting berths deserved it. You had guys in there that had come in from the cold. In Awata's case, Ida came off the bench. Jan came off the bench. And these guys deserve to keep their jerseys tonight. And we spoke about that before the game. But what that does is it knocks a couple of people back down the pecking order onto the bench. And they're sitting there wanting to be involved in this tonight. You know, dying. The only footballer I've ever spoken to who was on a bench who wasn't fussed about going on, right? And this is true. With Celtic were played Barcelona in 2012. We all know the score of the game. It was the game that made Tony Watt, right? And I remember asking Paddy McCourt, he was on the bench that night, which you might not even remember. Oh, I bet you're dying to get on. He goes, no, I was quite happy just to watch the game. He says, I was watching the greatest club side in the world and being done in by Celtic. He goes, I was quite happy just to sit and watch it because I'm thinking you'd be itching to get on the park and get involved.
Oh, you'd be absolutely itching to get on it.
Absolutely. Palma, I'm sure, will be itching to get on. Kyogo will be the same. And you know, all week we've been talking about siege mentalities, getting, you know, letting the shackles off, all these kinds of things. We've been looking for a spark. We've been looking for something to trigger us into action, Kev. And it's happened this week.
Yeah, it has. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes this week. Inside the club, maybe there's been a few home truths told or whatever, and whatever's happened or whatever inspirational video Brendan's got the players watching during the week, it's worked, right? Whatever's been said. Because that performance today, like you say, if you watch us over the last month, this is night and day compared to what we've been seeing, and in such a positive way. We're moving the ball really quickly. We've got movement that we never had before. We're getting the ball from defence to the wingers a lot quicker. There's now 15 passes in between that are going back and forward. It's really direct. And Yang, for me, has been tremendous in that half. Like, we spoke about Beck before the game and how he was probably the best player in the park the last time we played Dundee. He's got him booked inside 7 minutes, and that's him on toast now. Yang can do it if he wants against him because Beck can't touch him. And then when you move Maeda over, he gets his wee bit of revenge by getting the goal since he had a poor. He came the last time up against them. So yeah, look, whatever's happened during the week, whatever Weetabix or porridge they've been eating for the breakfast in the morning, keep on doing that because from now until the end of the season, because if we continue to play like this and we've got it in us, we could be very happy come the end of the season.
They have got
Not to get too carried away here.
A wee,
but come on.
Yeah, absolutely. A wee 80s reference. They've got the Ready Brett glow, Kev. You'll remember that from the adverts back in the day. Loads of great comments coming in and around Iwata. I mean, he was one of the guys, he's waited patiently on his chance. He's had a few injuries this season. And he's the type of player that you're thinking, looking at him in this team, he just adds a real balance to that midfield, Kev, whereby Matt O'Reilly, I brought up one of the comments earlier there, Matt O'Reilly and Callum McGregor are given a bit of license, not to roam, but a wee bit more of a license to be offensive because you've got that insurance behind you. The moment that Carter Vickers misjudged probably the weight of the ball, tried to kick it with his right, he was off balance, and it could have put us, you know, in a bit of trouble. And what you got there is you got Celtic players, Johnston and Scales, really, you know, backing their teammate up. But it was Iwata. It was Iwata that put a stop to that attack. And he's that type of player. I've seen him doing it against Motherwell over the weekend. And I think to myself, you know, people just come into form at the right time. And for me, the best thing to do is to keep them there. Whether he took him off at the weekend because he hasn't had much football, or he did want a more of an offensive option in Bernardo. Obviously, the change was met by quite a few boos from the away support at Fir Park. You keep him in if he's fit, you keep him in that team. He's made a massive difference in that midfield, Kev.
Yeah, he has done. There's comments coming in here. There's ones on all the WhatsApp groups that I'm in with folks watching the game, and his name is one that just keeps on coming up as to how impressive he's been in that half. I'd say probably him and Yang for me have been two of the real standouts. But the moment that you're talking about when he tracks back and covers from Carter Vickers' mistake, I was checking back on my notes as to when it was because I thought it was really early. It's in 13 minutes and it's 1-0. So if that boy's clean through and goal in 13 minutes at that time and scores, which has been our luck of recent weeks, we've got a completely different conversation that we're having just now. But he gets back, he does that dirty job, the untidy work in there, and he just mops it up, covers his man, and then plays a simple pass forward. And that's what he does so well. And you need that sometimes in a team. Just somebody that does the thankless tasks, the bit that nobody really notices a lot of the time, and then just keeps everything ticking over. And the big thing that he does do by sitting in that 6 role there is free up McGregor and O'Reilly to do what they do best. And O'Reilly's one I'd noticed early on. I thought, oh, this isn't going to be his day. He looks a bit leggy. He looks like a player that needs a rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know when it happened in the game. It might have been around his goal or just before, but something's happened, and he suddenly just stepped up a gear. And he's demanding the ball all the time. He's playing the through passes. He's another one that's just making things tick. So again, another solid performance from him. And really, I mean, what can you say about that other than some sort of superlative to say how amazing that first half was? 6 goals in 45 minutes. When was the last time we did that?
It was almost perfection. Have we ever done it? Someone in the comments might be able to tell us. Have we ever scored 6 goals in the first half of a football game? Paul Rooney from Partner got a big shout out the other day from Geeky Dog, but I didn't see the shout out until the stream had ended. So there you go, Paul Rooney from Partner. I hope you're enjoying the game this evening. And Guitar Boy is also coming in. Thank you for supporting the channel. Pure joy. That's how I'm feeling. Yang showing his promise. Ida on fire. O'Reilly back on top form. What about the shot that hit the bar? What a goal that would have been. Too much to mention. Really hope the Motherwell game was a turning point. Listen, we've been looking for turning points all season. I said when Ida scored the 2 penalties against Hibs at Easter Road in a rubbish game and a poor performance. You know, we were poor that night, but we got the win. And we were talking that night about a turning point, Kev, and obviously we've dropped points against Killie at home, but Kilmarnock are a decent side, especially at home. And for anyone who hasn't heard, half-time at Rugby Park, it's 1-0 to Kilmarnock. So there you go. We'll be keeping half an eye on that. Your eyes were looking at me a bit concerned. Surely Rangers haven't scored, have they? In the first minute of the second half.
I was hoping not. no, as far as I know, they've not. No, I don't know that I want to know that score just now until it's full time and it's confirmed that that's what it is.
Right. I'm going to say something right here. No matter what happens tonight, okay? No matter what happens tonight, we might be talking at full time, Kev. Who knows what might happen at Rugby Park? Celtic have got this game sewn up. Hopefully we get a good second half as well. But what I would suggest is that first half of football here at Celtic Park and at Rugby Park shows, and I'm echoing what Brendan Rodgers said at the weekend, this title is far from over. Anything can happen. It is a pendulum at this moment in time. Celtic might end up sitting on top of the league tonight. I'm not counting my chickens even after that first half performance. It might not happen, Kev, right? But whatever happens, remember this conversation at half-time throughout the rest of this season for the next 10 and a half games in this league title fight, because anything can happen. The league is there to be won, and Celtic have the capabilities to win it. That is amongst the best halves of football I've seen Celtic playing. So much so I can't wait to get stuck into the second half. Thanks, everybody, for getting involved. 1,800 strong at half-time. Celtic 6, Kilmarnock nothing. Let's go back to the action and join us at full time. Hopefully, we'll get 10. Surely not. Thank you for everybody getting involved, and thank you to Kevin McCluskey for joining me on A Celtic State of Mind.